Hey guys, welcome back to Dine with Renee. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you've been here for a while, welcome back. So today I'm alone. I'm not alone. Actually, I'm with Mercy, but she's behind the scenes. She's editing a video for you guys. You're gonna see it and you're gonna like it. So today I'm alone for this video, but she'll obviously be chipping in here and there. Do you get what I mean? Today we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be doing a story time, and the story I'm going to tell is about me. So I don't remember exactly because I was thinking before we started the video if we talked about this before, but maybe we haven't. But in one of our videos, I think I mentioned that I was once engaged. I was once engaged, guys, so I just want to tell you guys how it all happened and how it went on and how I broke off the engagement. I remember it was actually was it in 2017? No, it was in 2018. It was 2017 actually, because you came
2017
in 2017
actually.
Yeah, it was in 2017. So in 2017, I wasn't 21. I think I was 20. I was 21. I was 21 years old, and I was single, obviously, a young girl in uni. I was in my second year. I was really young, guys. So I just going into uni, and I used to go to church as usual. So I went to church, and then I met this very, very nice guy. He used to work on the the PowerPoints, because we've got projectors in our church so that people can see lyrics, or if you've got verses to read and things like that. We had a PowerPoint, so he used to do some work there. So one time he wanted to go to South Africa for his schoolwork and whatever, and I had to stay on the PA system. Can I call it a PA system? Yeah. So I had to stay on the PA system. So he had to kind of like teach me what exactly he was doing, and that's how we got close. And then we started talking. He was quite old. I think by the time we started talking, he was like 29 years old. And we started talking, we started getting closer. He was a good guy, guys. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to lie. He was a very, very good guy. And we started talking and started getting to know each other. And then he left for South Africa. And then when he got back, we even got closer. I remember this one time I went to his house. It was just all cool, guys. It was really nice. So then we got to a point that we have to make our friendship, we have to move from a friendship to a relationship, because we're obviously getting closer than normal friends would. So we decided to get into a relationship, but we had totally different definitions in our heads of what a relationship is, which is a lesson I've learned to you guys. And I also hope that if you're watching, you also learn that, when you get into a relationship with your partner, it's so important for you guys to know where you stand. Do you get what I'm saying? If you get into a relationship, define your relationship even. It doesn't mean like, of course, sometimes you might get offended if someone is not looking at a long-term relationship with you. But I feel like being honest, is so important, so then they can know that, you guys, when you get into a relationship, you're not planning a long-term thing. You have to be honest with each other. You have to talk to each other about these things, because one major issue was that we didn't talk about it. We didn't specify about what our relationship is going to be all about. So we started on the wrong foot altogether. So we got into a relationship. In his mind, when he got into a relationship with me, he wanted to marry me. I mean, then he wanted to marry me, like instantly, like from the time I said yes, I want to get into a relationship with you, he wanted to marry me. Me, on the other hand, a relationship was a phase where you get to know each other, you get to learn each other, you get to love each other more, because I believe that love is built over time as well. So that's what I thought. So we obviously had different perspective of what a relationship is. So then it was in church, obviously, guys. So he talked to one of was it an elder? Should I call it?
Yeah, she's an elder.
Yeah. So she talked to one of our elders in church, and then she was like, "Oh, he said that he told the elder that I have an interest in Renee and I want to marry her. Can you imagine? And we're just days into a relationship, guys. And then she was so excited because so I talked to my dad at the time, and he was actually saying that you know what happens with people in church sometimes, they want to have a lot of people that have gotten married into the church. It's a thing of pride to them. Do you know what I mean? So she was like, but like my dad was like, it doesn't really necessarily mean that. Not that they're bad people, but they don't have your interest at heart like that. They're just all about, oh, in our church, you see this couple, they actually got married in our church and things like that. That's all they're interested in. So when he told the elder, she was obviously excited, guys, and she went all out for us. Here's the juicy part. The next Saturday, I was to go to church, obviously, like any other Sabbath. So I got ready and then I went to church. So when I went to church, actually, there were just people around just doing all sorts of stuff because it was a Sabbath that is different from every other Sabbath. That we had a guest and we had to go somewhere else after Sabbath for something recreational. So I got to church and then the elder was by the door and it's like, okay, Renee, welcome. Don't worry, I have your wedding dress all figured out. And then I'm like, which wedding dress? You know, she was talking to me like I already know what's going on. When in actual fact, I didn't know that I was going to be engaged this day in church. She's like, okay, I've got your dress all figured out. Let's go and check it out. And then she took me. And then we went to a shop. And then I was all trying wedding dresses. It's like a potential bride. So we tried on a dress and I'm obviously slim, so they're like, okay, we just needed to cut it a little bit, and it was long as well and I'm short, and then they were like, I will also need to cut it short, and then they bought the dress. It was quite costly. I'm not going to tell you the price, but it was quite expensive. So they took the dress and then we went back to church, and then as I walked into church, guys, they had bought 2 big cakes written congratulations. And then that's when reality hit me like, wait a minute, I'm actually getting engaged today, now. It was so crazy. So then obviously I wasn't comfortable with it because I hadn't told my parents. No one at home actually knew that I was getting engaged. No one knew that I was in a relationship, let alone getting engaged. So it was a thing. So I had to call my then boyfriend, and I was like, okay, let's go outside and talk. And then it's like, okay, what's going on here? Everything is so fast. They already have a PowerPoint set up for us, and the pastors are here, and they're obviously going to pray for our engagement or whatever. I was like, what's going on? And then he was like, okay, if you're not interested in it, we can just tell them to cancel the whole thing. And I was like, that's not practical. People are already here. They have put a PowerPoint, they've bought cakes, they've even bought a wedding dress. So it's not practical for us to just go and say, okay, we're not ready, so we're not doing any engagement. I mean, people have invested money in this already. So, okay, we just play along. So we played along and then we got engaged, obviously. And then it was a thing, guys. We had our own table by the side with candles, and there was food around, and obviously the cakes. And the pastors prayed for us, and yeah, we finished. And then I didn't want to think about it because I was so confused. And the whole Sabbath, guys, I didn't actually enjoy the Sabbath because I was nervous the whole time. I was always like, is this my time? Is this when my flight comes? Is this like, I was so scared. And then finally, of course, it gets to an end. And then we finished the Sabbath, and then we went for our trip outside town. And then I didn't want to talk about it, guys, at all, even with him. So we just kept quiet about it. And then people went, and then on a Sunday we came back to Nikos. But when we came back, I came straight home. I didn't go to his house or anything like that, so I went straight home. And then the next time I saw him, I remember when we discussed about the engagement, I was like, okay, so what are our plans of getting married? I was like, okay, I can even get married to you now. Like, I have it all figured out. It's only you that doesn't know what you want, you know, that kind of a thing. And I was like, but it's difficult because, guys, let me tell you something. I come from a family that is, if you like to call it, uptight. you know, like we never discuss about boyfriends, relationships. Do you get what I mean? So just to come to them and tell them I'm getting married is a thing. It wasn't easy for me to say, even if I wanted to say it. Do you get what I mean? So I was like, okay, I just need time to talk to them. And obviously, I wasn't prepared to talk to them for a very long time because it's not an easy thing to say. So he obviously thought I wasn't serious and all of those things. And then, guys, after summer, because this all happened when it was like right at the beginning of summer. So it was after summer, it was in September. I'd already gotten used to him. I've gotten to like him as well, and everything was just so moving smoothly. And then my dad came to Cyprus, and then I hadn't seen my dad in a very, very, very long time. So my dad came, and I just had to spill the beans. I just had to say it. So my dad came and was like, okay, my dad is a very free person. He is. So I was like, okay, Dad, so this is what's going on. You're going to see a guy, whatever. And then I explained to him. I also told him how I feel, that I wasn't ready. I felt I was young. I was just 21 years old, guys. Like, I was still in uni even. Like, it would be a different thing if I was already established and I had it all figured out. But I was still trying to figure it out. So for me to get married, like, I wasn't obviously comfortable with it. And my dad understood, and he also thought I wasn't ready. So like, okay, we'll go and see the guy, okay? So we went on the Sabbath because my dad came on a Friday, right? And then on Sabbath we went to church, he saw the guy, and then the guy was talking to my dad. It was the most awkward thing I've seen in my life. Guys, I'm not even free with my dad because I haven't seen him in a very long time. And now we're going to talk about marriage. It was just so awkward. And then they were talking, and then my dad was like, okay, so what are your plans? Because she's still in school. And then he was like, okay. He legit said this because what happens in Zimbabwe is that when you get married to someone, they are your responsibility. Do you get what I mean? So you can't get married to someone and then expect your father-in-law or your mother-in-law to take care of their daughter while you're married to their daughter. It doesn't work like that. And even you, the husband, would feel bad that you are still letting your parents-in-law take care of your wife. It's not an ideal situation. So it's like, okay, but because I've married her doesn't necessarily mean that she's no longer your daughter. Do you get what I mean? And then my dad was like, yeah, he did. And then my dad was like, this guy, does he even know what he's talking about? And then we were talking, and then my dad was obviously against it, and he didn't hide it as well. I was like, okay, I just don't think this will work and all of those things. And then the elder was, because we're at that elder's house, so she was more at his side, you know. She wanted more she wanted his voice to be heard more. So she was sort of like an advocate for the guy. Do you get what I mean? Because me, I had my dad on my side. And guys, we talked about it, and my dad wasn't into it. So then when my dad left, we had to talk about it, and I was like, okay, what if let's just keep the ball rolling until I finish my degree, and then we can figure it out from then. And then we continued dating. We dated, and now I'm not sure if I'm a fiance or is it a fiance or a fiance.
Either.
I don't know if I'm a fiance
or a wife
or a girlfriend because I'm not married. You get what I mean? So I was just so confused. I was like, okay, we'll just push it until I finish school, and then we'll just try to figure it out. And then we continued dating. Guys, at this point when I told him that, I'm legit thinking, the 21-year-old me, the 22-year-old me is thinking, okay, so when I finish my degree in 2 years, I'll probably have more feelings for him. I'll probably be loving him more, and then I'll be ready to get married to him, despite what my parents say, and we'll live happily ever after. I was already considering going back with him because his plan was to go back to his country when he finished his degree because he had a job all figured out and everything. And then I finished uni, and I'm still not feeling getting married, guys. I'm not even feeling it, you know. And obviously we've been together now for 3 years, but I cannot say that I didn't love him. I think I did. Seriously, I think I did. I just don't think that I wanted to get married, and he couldn't understand the fact that you can actually love someone and not want to get married, at least for that time. Do you get what I mean? He thought like it's just straightforward. You see a girl, you like her, they like you too, you get married. To him, that's how it worked. And then to me, on the other hand, we needed a lot of time. We needed to learn each other. I needed to know if I could stay with him as a husband. Do you get what I mean? I needed like that whole process, and just because of that, like we couldn't really figure it out. And then at the end, we just like, you know what, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. He had a job as well, so he wanted to settle down. He wanted to have a family, and wanted to provide for his family. Do you get what I mean? And then me, on the other hand, I know 23 is old to most of you guys, but for me, I felt like I was young, and I can't really be thinking about family and kids right now. At least there's some people that can figure it out, even at 22 years old. There are people that get married at 20 years old and they can figure it out. But for me, like, I wasn't just ready for that life. So we had totally different priorities, and it just couldn't work because he wasn't willing to wait, on the other hand, until I was ready to get married, and me, I wasn't willing to jump into marriage like that. So guys, that's how we ended the engagement. That's how we broke off the engagement. And from this whole story, guys, I just want to tell you that there are things that I learned, a lot of things that I learned. It is said that, you know, everything that happens in your life is meant to enrich you in some way. You know, I wouldn't call it a negative thing, but I'll just say the whole experience really taught me a lot of things that I didn't know about. And yeah, guys, that's the story of how I was engaged and how I broke off, how we broke off the engagement. I don't think I broke off, we agreed to break off the engagement. So yeah, guys, those were basically the lessons that I've learned. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I also enjoyed telling you guys my story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share.